California is really hurting for money, and so what do the pro-drug folks do? They try to find a wedge issue with this to say, look, the state of California can make a few $1,000,000 here and there. The reality is quite the opposite. A new study out of Columbia University, CASA, shows that for every $1, for example, that you would collect off, say, tobacco, you're going to have $8.56 to clean up the societal health care costs. Well, we already know that marijuana and tobacco have a lot of the same cancer-causing carcinogens, but now marijuana also has THC in front of it. So the bottom line is, whatever tax revenue we're going to gain from selling pot to our kids and community is going to be far outweighed 8 times by the cost that we're going to have to put out there cleaning up all these societal health care costs.
But at this point, what is the answer? I mean, we've already dug the hole. Is it just closing everything up or creating some sort of strategy, some sort of balance?
Well, with this, I really don't know if there is a balance, because Prop 215, which was passed in 1996 by a marginal 55% of the voters, was the initiative that allowed for this medicinal marijuana. But what people voted for was compassion, and they thought they were going to help out the most seriously terminally ill patients. What we've learned from is that's not the case at all. In San Diego, for example, the San Diego District Attorney has done a study showing that less than 2% of those who are smoking marijuana have any kind of a significant illness. So right now, 98% of people, statistically, San Diego, big county, are doing it just to get high.
What about taking responsibility for that? If you do drive high, just like you do, drive under the influence of alcohol, you'll get a ticket for that.
You live in a community, and in a community you share our roads. You're teaching our students, you're driving our school buses, you're flying our planes, you're driving the big rigs down those roads. And so we have rules and responsibilities here, and we really need to mitigate that the best we can. We don't need to open up Pandora's box by allowing another substance in, which we know is only going to cause more harm in our community than good. And the argument will be, well, how do we regulate this, and how do we treat people who are driving high if we go forward with this? Well, that's an easy one to shoot down, because if you're going to pull somebody over and they've smoked marijuana, you can't tell whether they smoked marijuana an hour ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago. We just don't know. With alcohol, we can tell your blood alcohol level, where you're at and how long it's been. With marijuana, either you do or you don't have it in your system. So to bring in the argument that we can start testing people and seeing how they're driving really isn't realistic.
How do you judge who deserves medical marijuana and who doesn't?
My heart goes out to anybody dealing with a terminal illness. Who am I to tell them how to feel or how not to feel? Very, very important for them to feel good. But what we have to understand is that the pro-drug lobby has stood on the backs of these sick people since 1996, ushering them out there in front of cameras to say this is why we need medicinal marijuana. What we know already is that there are much better drugs out there than a crude weed that is smoked with over 400 cancer-causing carcinogens. Not to mention there's already a legitimate drug out there called Marinol, which has THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, in concentrated, approved Federal Drug Administration form. A new drug is coming out, we learned, called Sativex. So because of this, we stand against smoked marijuana. We think it's not the right thing. It might make you feel better, but some people will say, having a swig of whiskey in the morning makes them feel better as well.